Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. It's Thursday. Normally we do Semiconductor Thursdays, but by popular demand, we are going to talk about day trading, right? And in particular, day trading options. And in these examples I will be using over the series will be the Qs. Now, whether you choose the Qs or not, that's completely up to you. But definitely pick, an index ETF or, heavily traded stock, other stocks I've, learned on, AMD's popular one that I've mentioned before. That's where I first started trading. Nvidia, Apple, right? The reason why, the liquidity, right? We're day trading. We need to get in and out of these positions as quick as possible, right? Now, other than finding some high liquidity optionable stocks, you really need to focus on a couple things before we just, get into chart patterns and examples and things of that nature, right? The first thing I want to talk about is a setup, right? We're going to be day trading. You got to have your command center, right? Me, I've got 4 monitors here, 2 of them, 3 of them really used for VectorVest solely. The one monitor is really typically used for trading or other research purposes, right? So I do have a monitor dedicated just for that. On top of that, the reason why I talk about the setup is because, again, these are very highly volatile options. These are the most volatile, some of the most volatile derivatives out there, especially, I'm talking about trading DOEs or, very short-term options. Me personally, I'm going to choose DOEs, and we'll get to that in just a moment. And the reason why I'm talking about DOEs compared to, other expirations further out, because if you're not as aggressive and you don't want to, risk it all or, potentially become a millionaire in a couple days, who knows what'll happen, you can put out the expiration date to reduce that volatility during a day trade, right? You don't have to hold it overnight. And typically I don't recommend holding, swing trades or, day trades. We're talking day trading here. We don't hold those overnight, in my opinion. And the reason why is this. Think about the Qs, right? Think about options. We've got time decay, right? Theta. Again, this is not a beginner video, and I'll point you in some resources in just a moment. But we're talking about theta, right? So if I take a look at the Qs and say it closes at, whatever level, right? If it remains the same or goes against me, depending, if I buy a call, for an example, right? If it goes slightly down or stays the same, I will lose money, right? That's a 2/3 probability that I'm going to lose money. Only 1/3 that can actually make some money, right? The equity would have to go up enough to, outpace the time decay plus the delta, right? The correlation between, the price of the option itself and the, the equity or ETF, whatever it may be. So just keep that in mind. A couple other things I want to cover. Brokerage mechanics, right? I want a broker that I can place trades very fast, right? Very, very fast, especially if I have to, change my order, right? I'm sure I'm not the only one that has, been chasing an order, whether it's a fill or a sell order. Put things in the comment section as well as I go along in this video. Have you guys chased orders, right? That being said, I kind of started with Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, but now I'm at Webull. And I'm not here to promote Webull or anything, but I know the mechanics. I know I can get in and out of trades very quickly. I'm familiar with the mechanics of the brokerage. That's just one thing I wanted to cover, right? Another thing, technical analysis. I can't stress this enough. Chart patterns, candlestick formations, trend lines, support resistance, supply zones, right? Things of that nature. RSI, moving averages. I typically use EMAs or the Bollinger Bands, but definitely get a familiar with basic, the better knowledge you have with technicals, the better you will do in this realm of day trading options. Now, the next item I want to talk about are graphs. And the reason why I want to talk about graphs, and, I know I work at VectorVest, and it's really not just to promote the VectorVest graphs, but the reason why I use the VectorVest graphs, trust me, I've got brokerages. I've used Thinkorswim and all these other, crazy platforms out there, TradingView, things of that nature. The reason why I stick with the VectorVest graphs, for the most part, actually, I'd say 99% of my research and trading is done through these graphs, is the ability to make changes to the graph within the day, right? And if you know our graphs, they are simple, yet highly effective. And that's why I like the graphs here. Take out the trial of the software if you want to check it out. Hey, I'm not really here to pitch you on that. But definitely check out the graphs. And if you like our graphs, put them in the comment section. The reason why I like our graphs, I know we don't have VWAP and all that crazy stuff. It's coming in the new web-based platform. like TradingView and Thinkorswim, I don't need 2,000 or 3,000 indicator or more indicators, right? I've said it before. If I need all that stuff, I'm really just trying to convince myself to do something that I probably should not be doing in the first place, right? Now, the last item I want to talk about before I get to an example into the software, again, this will be a series, right? This will be a series. We're not going to cover everything today. I don't have the best attention span, so putting out a 2-3 hour video, good luck with that, right? Now, the last thing I want to cover is going to be the most important thing you have to consider before opening trades in the day. It has nothing to do with charts. It has nothing to do with the stocks. It has nothing to do with the markets, right? The two things, and they kind of go hand in hand in a way because it will affect your trading. And this actually is probably going to be one of the most detrimental to day traders. The first thing is time, right? You place a day trade, you get distracted, whether it's, work, paying bills, life, kids, whatever it may be, right? You cannot get distracted with these type of trades, right? The only way I'm walking away from my computer is if I unloaded some contracts. I'm playing mostly with house money or all house money, and I'm up quite a bit, right? I've got a cushion zone, and trust me, I'm still looking at it as I walk around the house or the office, whatever I'm doing. Time. Make sure you have the time for this, right? Because if you don't have the time, you got a million things going on during the day, hey, you can definitely watch the rest of the video and learn some things going forward. But now's not the best time for you to probably be doing this. And that's just because I love everybody watching, this, supports the channel, supports the VectorVest community, right? And I always want to put, some of the most important information before I just show you highly volatile items, right? Now, the second part of that, right? You got time in your day, but the second part is emotions. And what I mean by emotions is I've done some of my best trading. Well, typically my best trading occurs when my head is clear, right? I don't have a whole lot of, stress, anxiety. We all got things going in our life. Trust me, I'm not perfect by any means. But you want to make sure your head is in the right space before you start placing trades, right? So you want to make sure you got the time, and you want to make sure that your head is in the space, right? Some things I do before I day trade, go on a walk, enjoy some nature. That's just me. That's what I like to do, right? Do something that's going to clear your head, because once you get in these trades and you start second guessing yourself and, wishy-washy this, wishy-washy that, you will make mistakes. Hands down. You will make mistakes if you do that. Now, I know I've been rambling here for a couple minutes. I normally don't do this, right? This is a different type of video for me. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope, you get something out of this. Make sure you hit that like button, hit this subscribe button to this channel, right? Just make sure you get the, the notifications going forward. Because if you only watch one of these videos, you're getting like one tool in the tool belt, right? I'm trying to give you the whole tool belt. I just want to go over some very important things. So today's example is the Q's going to be today. I did place a trade today. I'm going to explain exactly the several trades I've done starting this. I have taken a break from day trading options. I actually went about a year or so before I jump back into it, right? And that leads me to the time and the emotions, right? I know what to do. Trust me, you see the videos I put out. I keep a lot of people on the right side of the market, whether short-term trading, long-term investments, that kind of thing. But if your head is not in it, you will make mistakes. And that's why I say, the time and the emotions, you got to make sure you have the time and the emotions to do so. The potential to make astronomical money is there, and I could say this from example. I started with about $600. This was in 2021, right? I had a Robinhood account, put $600 in there, learned how to day trade. Like I said, at the AMD, right? Well, I didn't realize 4 months later I'd have almost 57,000, if my memory is correct, somewhere in there. Treat it like a game, right? It's points on a board. I didn't have this kind of money, prior to that. So I made the mistake of managing my $600 just as I managed 56,000, right? And the bigger mistake is I went against my intuition. I lost 18 grand in less than an hour. Trust me, that hurt. But even after taking that huge hit, I still ended up with about $34,000. Like I said, if my memory is correct, right? So I tried to replicate that several times. Well, before I did that, I cashed out. Diamond hands or not, I folded. I cashed out. Hey, is what it is. I was able to, get a good computer, upgrade my car, pay off some loans. That's where the personal side of it comes from, right? You can't just risk it, double up. because I know with life, at some point you got to take some of that money and put it to other things. Now, we're going to get into the software. We're going to take a look at a trade I did today. Now, just full honesty here, I put $1,000 in my Webull account for purposes of this video and the series going forward, right? So one of the first trades I did, I got up to about $1,700. I think it was $1,650. Second trade this week, got it up to, I think it was about $1,750, 18, made about $100 or so, right? Took out $700, right? So it brought me back down. Right now, I did another trade today, and that's one we're going to talk about today. Brought me back over 1,000. I think I'm at 1089. We'll take a look at the numbers in just a moment. The reason why I'm telling you, the reason why I took money out, right? This is volatile. You can lose it all. Just as there's upside potential, there's also downside potential. Now, I'm playing mostly with house money, right? So that's going to be my first thing I want to tell you. As soon as you get that first double up, and hopefully everyone watching this will have some patience. Don't just jump in right now, especially if you're new to day trading options. But once you get that first double up or close to it, right? Take out, like I did, most of my initial deposits. Right now I'm playing with about 70% house money, rough math, right? It's about mitigating risk. It's about staying in the game because trust me, you go up, 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 and up, but you make one mistake, boop, it's over, right? So let's take a look at today's trade. Let's take a look at the cues. I'm going to give you an insight of exactly what I was thinking when I opened this trade this morning. So the first thing we're going to do, and again, this is an example for the cues here, right? We got today's candlestick. So the first thing I want to do, look at certain levels where pivots are likely to happen, right? So the first thing on the downside I did this morning for the market open was I took this level here. You can see the top of this bullish candlestick, the top of this, pretty bearish candlestick here, but it comes around 526. I do have a little line here, 526.23 coming off the top of this wick. So I got a little zone to the bottom side, right? And I just got a little zone to the upside. Where I get the upside from? These wicks right here. I mix these two wicks together, giving me two levels, a zone to potentially take some profits, right? So now let's look at the intraday chart. Now here we have the intraday chart. Now the important thing was I got my pivots, right? Based off those candlesticks before. So I was looking for price action to pivot at these levels. This is to the downside here and here's to the upside, right? Now the consolidating, the pattern that we saw, I didn't see that come to fruition until after I sold the trades. So this first horizontal line here, first vertical line here, this is when I purchased these trades. You can see the purchase occurred first thing this morning, right? I see price action here hitting my support level. So I'm looking for a pivot, a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill. Look at the big bullish green candlestick we got there. We could see the price action here. I purchased these, let's see, at 95 cents. So right at the bottom here, right at 931. We did get a drop right after that, right? My low coming in was around 84 cents we see. So yes, it was down about 15% at max. So it was within my threshold of pain. I was looking to close out of it because again, it's all about surviving another day, right? But we got this big bullish green candlestick. You can see right there in my support zone. Follow through coming in, right? Now, today's objective for me was not to hit it out of the ballpark. No, it was not the objective of all. I just wanted a little bit of a cushion zone, right? I started with $1,000. Again, I was a little bit less than that after I took some money out of my account. I want a cushion zone there, right? So I cushioned me up. So I unloaded these contracts. The first unloaded was $1.10 at 9:36 this morning. And then 2 minutes later, because I did feel the pullback here at 9:38, because the pullback was occurring here right at this level support. I didn't want to break it, and I had a little bit of profit today. And it's never a bad idea to just run with some profit. So I sold the last batch of contracts at $1.02, giving me a profit. And right now I'm looking at the account, it's $1,096. So I got back above my $1,000 initial investment. And now I've got a little bit of $96 cushion zone with majority of this money. We're looking at about 70, now probably closer to 80% after today's is house money, right? So I'm trying to introduce you a very risky style of trading, but showing you some tricks along the way to help mitigate these risks. Now I realize the breakout here to the upside. I mean, these contracts went to $1.35, $45. I mean, that's 40%, actually a little bit higher than that off my initial purchase, right? But these opportunities present themselves every single day, right? You really just got to ask what my objective is that day. My objective today was to build the buffer zone, right? I'm trying to play more and more with house money. Less my risk, more of the market's risk, right? So I hope you found this video informative. I know it's very different than my typical videos. And the series, as it progresses, we are going to get into a lot more technical information. So if you're not familiar with technicals, your brokerage, all those things I mentioned in the beginning of the video, get familiar with them, right? We're going to put a lot of tools in the tool belt so that way we could be successful. I mean, this skill, whether you use it as, income, extra income strategy, or you're trying to, get the Lambo level, that is up to you, right? It really depends how much effort you put into it. Because one of my famous sayings, and I know everyone's heard this probably, most people probably heard this, what you put into life is what you get out of it. And the same goes for trading. Now, I hope everyone has a great evening. Make sure you hit that like button so that way I know you appreciate the content. I will go along with the series as well. If you're new to the channel, again, this is not your typical video here. Definitely check out some of our other videos, some of our other free resources on YouTube so that way you can stay ahead of the market. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll see you next week.